YouTube? This is your boy Kamen Rider Zero Spike back again once again. Today we have for Ohsama Sentai King-Ohger episode 8, and we get the brother battle in this episode, and we get the debut of the Reckless in his Ranger form. Looks exactly like Gita's, it's just silver or gray, silver gray. Pretty cool. I mean, I like his theme that comes on when he henshins. I like his sword. He royalty. He gotta have some gold somewhere. He gotta have some gold action going. But in this episode, we see that he has been summoned by trial by combat, and he has to fight Reckless. And yeah, he basically has to fight Reckless, and Reckless is basically trying to get the people to see him as this amazing dude, this great king, even though he's a piece of ish. So in this episode, basically we see that Gita is basically captured. He's in Rita's prison, and he is he's hearing and listening to Rita's announcement of he's gonna have to fight his brother and things like that. But we see that Rita does talk to Gita later on. But we see Yanma is getting his people all hyped up for the fight and stuff like that. Basically trying to be Gita's little support group or whatever. And he's down for it. He's down for like some one-on-one fight looking kind of stuff. So he ends up talking to Himeno, and Himeno is with the Black Ranger. They're basically all talking with each other, and she basically asks Kagedi. She basically asks Kagedi, like, I wonder why you're always so willing to bend to his will. We see that Kagedi is kind of playing both sides, and he's actually playing it very well. And we know that Kagedi is also one of basically the only ranger that we essentially know almost nothing about, and we don't have that much information on him. He's kind of shrouded in mystery right now, and a lot of his we don't really know any of his real true intentions. And he's also really good at manipulating things and things like that. So we did see that in a flashback, we got Rita and Kagedi talking with Reckless, and we find out that Kagedi is the one that basically the one who suggested they do this trial by combat. But yeah, so we see Himeno he's talking with Himeno, and she basically brings up why are you always so willing to bend to his to come to his side, come to his aid, and why are you and he's like, don't you realize that kingdom, Shugundam, could have been the country that prevented the fury of the gods, which was the big calamity that happened 15 years ago. And if Shugundam did something to prevent fury of the gods, then her parents probably wouldn't have died and things like that. So, but Kagedi is like, he's not hearing it. He doesn't really care. He's literally just like, the past is the past, my lady. And we find out that she did take some of the venom from Scorpion, which is God Scorpion. She taking some of the venom from him, and she's able to deduce that it's the same venom that was used to kill her parents. So she's thinking that probably Shugundam probably has something to do with it, or somebody in that had something to do with it. Consider the fact in the last episode that Yanma basically suggested that the Shu gods are basically like machines, and they're gonna go off of their programming. They're gonna go off by an order. So someone ordered that black hooded figure guy to go kill her parents. And yeah, so she finds out that it's the same exact venom from Scorpion, and so we end up going back to Rita. She's talking with Gita, and she asks Gita, like, how were you kidnapped 15 years ago? And Gita's like, I don't remember it. I don't remember if I didn't even know that I was kidnapped. I don't remember it, and things like that. And we see that Rita is she doesn't since you don't remember, you know, stuff when you since you don't remember that. It's kind of weird of why, you know, when it comes out to trial by combat, both people have to agree to it, but you were essentially just pushed into it, which doesn't really add up. Because the only reason you agreed to this was because the kids were basically kidnapped, were basically held hostage, and that's the only reason you're even doing this at all. And he puts on his, you know, evil guy facade, and basically says that, you know, why would I give up the chance to fight, right? Why would I give up the chance to actually defeat Raculus? So we end up going to the trial by combat, you know, fight, whatever they're fighting in this arena, and they ended up. We see Raculus actually transform, and it's pretty freaking cool. Like, his theme is pretty cool when he does it, and then Gira just comes up with his regular stuff, and yeah. But also, we did see that the Bugnarak are kind of like going through it with the fact that, you know, Dark Narak is punishing his subordinate about losing the two guardian spirits that they actually had, and it turns out we basically get the debut of the monster of the week, which is like a stink bug or some kind of bug. Well, I mean, they're all bugs, but he's this bug. He's able to basically calls himself a phantom, and he basically says that I'm everywhere but also nowhere. And he's able to, you know, disguise himself as other people. He's able to become invisible. He's able to move kind of swiftly, and he ends up being the monster that gets sent out to attack the rest of the kingdoms. So the fight begins. We see that Raculus is beating the dog water out of Gira, and we see that three foot soldiers ended up taking Rita away, and it turns out it's Yanma, Kagiri, and Himeno, and they basically decided that they're going to make their own little operation of Operation Gira, which is going to be since Kagiri had, well, we see that Kagiri ended up going to Raculus and actually giving him the venom that Himeno had, able to basically giving him this venom, saying that, you know, if you're gonna fight a little dirty, why don't you have like a little trump card? So he ends up giving him this venom for Raculus to use in the fight as a last resort type thing. Well, yeah. So while the fight is ensuing, we see that he's you know, getting his butt kicked. Well, you know, Gira is getting his butt kicked. He ends up getting knocked out of the arena into like this wasteland area, and he starts talking to Raculus and telling him that, you know, why exactly was I kidnapped? Did you have something to do with my kidnapping? And did you do it because you were afraid of me? You're afraid that I was going to be the one to end up taking the throne? Like how, like, why did you do that? We see that it kind of does make Raculus kind of, you know, flustered, because his attacks and stuff like that aren't as refined. So we end up getting so he ends up beating the crap out of Gira, and Gira is rising from the fire and going off that I am the tyrant king, you know, I'm going to take over the world, things like that. And he ends up get a really cool, you know, get that really cool fighting type stuff going on. And the OST in this episode was actually pretty freaking dope, and I kind of really want to find that. But yeah, like, it was so freaking dope seeing them fight like this. And we see while they're fighting, we see that the big stone camera thing as it comes around, and we see that Yanma for some reason runs over to, starts running into the battlefield, and he starts calling, and he's acting kind of weird. Like, he's saying stuff like, "Oh, Gira, I'm coming to save you, my best friend," and stuff like that. And we see that Raculus ends up attacking him. Yeah, Raculus ends up attacking him, and that's when Gira runs over to Yanma and basically says that, "Oh man, he's kind of hurt. I have to save him." And Raculus looks down and is like, "Save who exactly?" And that Yanma transforms into the monster of the week, the stick bug. And when the people see this on the big screen camera thing, they kind of like come to the conclusion. Now they have real proof of it. They come to the conclusion that Gira is actually a bad guy because he was actually holding and siding with a Bugnarok, but he actually wasn't. It was just a Bugnarok in the disguise of Yanma, because Yanma was still there. You know, Yanma, Himeno, and Kakiri are all wearing like that brown foot soldier-esque outfit. But we see that for some reason Kakuri isn't there, and after that bug shows up, they end up being attacked by some of the Bugnarok grunts, and Himeno X is like, where did Kakuri go? And Kakuri is still in his disguise, and he ends up going into the castle and actually seeing something. We don't know what he sees, but he ends up seeing something, and we end up going back to the fight. We see that they're basically like kind of still fighting, but that's when Radcliffe still beats the crap out of Gira, making Gira turn back into his civilian form. And then the people start cheering and all that good stuff. And we see that the monster is growing really, really big. He is growing up really big, and that's when Radcliffe goes and tries to fight him and tries to summon King-Ohger. But so as he tries to summon King-Ohger, out of nowhere, we see a giant. We see a new. I guess this is a new guardian spirit. A big black and gold grasshopper who is God Bata. So, and that episode basically ends off right there. We didn't get a mech fight in this episode, which is cool. We see that this episode will be like a part 1, part 2 kind of thing. And yeah, episode kind of ends off right there. But when we did see Kaguri actually go into like this room, this armory probably looking place, and he probably saw God Bata in there and actually released God Bata. Even though Kaguri has his own like hidden agendas and all this other stuff. Like I said before, he's playing both sides very, very well, and I think this is gonna be like the payoff of that. Well, maybe a piece of the payoff from that. And also, this episode was great because it starts planting seeds and foreshadowing a lot of stuff that is to come. And right now, everyone thinks Gira is dead, but Radcliffe doesn't think Gira is dead. He said, I'm not going to think he's dead till he finds his body, essentially. And because he gets, because he knocks Gira down into this hole, like this chasm kind of looking place. And that's when the rest of the Rangers come find him. Kaguri basically says that, hey man, you can't do anything. Right now, you're going to take up the ranks with the dead. You're not, right now, we're basically faking your death right now. And I was just like, oh man, I like how they actually trying to help Gira. And Radcliffe is actually, he's not the true bad guy, but he is an antagonist nonetheless. But other than that, this episode was great, man. This episode was great. I love that we didn't get the mech fight thing. I love how they're saving that to basically debut the new guardian spirit, which is God Bata, which looked pretty cool. He's just a big black and gold grasshopper, and I really like that. And but yeah, in this episode was actually pretty good. I feel like Radcliffe has done a lot more stuff, and I do feel like Radcliffe was responsible for Gira's disappearance 15 years ago, because he was probably afraid of Gira. People probably liked Gira more than they liked him, things like that. So you guys let me know down in the comment section below what you guys think about this episode of Ohsama Sentai King-Ohger. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and remember, as I always say, stay henshin.